claims at least 8 lives. Good morning and welcome to the news. I am Laura Amanzi. The prevalent rate of female genital mutilation has dropped by 54% in Ebonyi State. The wife of the governor, Mrs. Susan Makanwifu, stated this during a road walk to commemorate the 2025 International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation and Cutting, organized by her pet project, Belwo. Minister of Women Affairs and Development Partners, Pauline Waneri, tells us more.
February 6 every year is recognized as the International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation and Cutting. During the road walk to commemorate the day, the wife of the governor, Mrs. Uzamaka Nwifuru, represented by the team lead, Bewo, Mrs. Nkechi Chagu, said the cultural menace had reduced drastically in the state. The wife of the governor, while speaking on the theme, stepping up the pace, strengthening alliances and building movements to end FGM, called traditional rulers, stakeholders, and birth attendants to work collectively to achieve zero tolerance for female genital mutilation.
Remember, this is deeply cultural, and it takes a mindset to change the culture of the people. FGM is female genital mutilation. It used to be female genital cutting, but that cutting is so derogatory, so it was changed to mutilation, meaning scattering that whole area. The damage it has done, that woman's genital that was beautifully created by God, how can you come and use razor or scissors and mutilate it, all in the name of culture?
The Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Mrs. Felicia Nwamkpuma, represented by her head of department, Mrs. Roslyn Oje, said that the joint alliance with community and religious leaders would assist in the reduction of the female genital mutilation.
We have almost even more than 130 stakeholders in Ebonyi State or network that are joining with the Ministry of Women Affairs to fight this battle of FGM in Ebonyi State. If all the network, the NGOs that are working in Ebonyi State come out today, here will not contain us. There are a lot of people who have joined to make sure FGM is a thing of the past in Ebonyi State.
UNFPA representative Kosarachi Nwite and the coordinator Gender-Based Violence Task Force, Mrs. Fedvin Wancho, promised their commitment to ensure its continuous decline as a severe violation of human rights affecting women and girls.
What we did as per the punishment section of that law in 2018 was a child's play. That in that woman, after being amended, is the level of I make a show.
Offenders of this ill-treated cultural menace have been advised to desist to avoid being trapped by the State Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law. Pauline Waneri, Salt TV News.
The State Commissioner for Education, Professor Paul Nwobashi, has called on teachers to disregard the proposed industrial action and use all avenues of peaceful dialogue in resolving the areas of unpaid salaries issue. Professor Nwobashi made the call in a roundtable meeting with the Argon chairman and his team in his office at Centenary City, Abakaliki. Chasole reports.
The Commissioner appealed to teachers in the state not to go on strike as government was looking into the allegation of outstanding salary arrears owed them with the view to addressing the problem.
We have paid salaries. Any person, any staff that says he has not been paid should report. That's just ABC. We are not owing anybody. We are doing verification. The only salaries that have not been paid is that of January, which we assure them that immediately the verification ends, maybe in a week's time, then everybody will get his or her salary.
In their various speeches, the Secretary to the Universal Basic Education Board, UBEB, Mr. Livinius Ezowa, the Argon chairman, who is also the council chairman of Ebonyi local government area, Prince Chinedu Uburu, and the council chairman of Izan North local government area, Mr. Ogodo Ale, said that the allegation of outstanding salary arrears should be addressed through peaceful dialogue with documented evidences showing that some teachers were being owed salaries.
Let's discuss. Let's know the problem. If truly they were not paid, let's know it. They were not paid. If they were paid, let's know they were paid. Let's really know the problem.
My advice to them is that they should, toe the path of peace. If there's any other thing they are not telling us, let them come up with it. But for someone to, come out and say that the verification exercise must not, happen, I think that person is a joker.
The issue is that people who are eating government money without working for it are fighting back. And that is the truth. So my advice is that the teachers should not join politics or to face their jobs. They are not the issue. We are not pursuing the teachers. We are not pursuing our workers. Our workers are our brothers, our dependents. We cannot punish them. We are looking for those who are eating government money without working for it.
They said the ongoing verification exercise would continue, adding that the verification exercise really exposed some illegalities in the system and urged them to stop any planned strike action that could disrupt the smooth academic session in the state. Charles Ole Jr. for SOT TV News.
Marketers at the Integrated Building Materials Market, Abakaliki, have called on the state government to come to their aid by providing internal road network, water and electricity, among others, to make the environment conducive for commercial activities. The marketers made their feelings known when EBBC crew visited the market to ascertain the cost of building materials and its effect on economic and financial strength of the society. The report.
Over the years now, the cost of building materials has been soaring and raises great concern to both marketers and customers across the country. According to the President, Integrated Building Materials Market, Abakaliki Chief Fidelis Onwe, the high cost of fuel, which adversely affects transportation and delivery of materials, has brought hyperinflation in the country. He said that the building materials market, which attracts customers from far and wide, needs government attention in the areas of road, electricity, security, and banks. He thanked the state governor for his care to marketers in the state.
After the relocation from former building materials to the new building materials now, we have not been finding things easy. It's too difficult for us. The environment is not conducive. We don't have anything, such as a good road, the environment, no water, no nothing to be boast of, but we are trying our best.
Some marketers, including Mr. Chukudera Onyiro and Mr. Peter Nwokuru, said they buy at exorbitant rate and sell the same way.
For our own, there's no additional charge or increment in our price, so we are selling a good price.
We are calling on the government to come and assist us tar the roads and bring electricity. And sometimes we have poor network.
A customer who has a block industry in Abakaliki, Mr. Christian Okpa, said that the cost of building materials presently has affected his business negatively and called on government to initiate measures to reduce inflation in the country.
150,000. This morning, 180,000. Mana block one the same price can last. So things are not going well. Cement now is 10,000 naira instead of 8,000 something or 7,000 something. It's 10,000 naira. I bought it this morning. So things are going high, but we are not seeing the money.
The cost of both consumable and non-consumable goods in the nation needs proper economic policy by government to checkmate it in the interest of the common man. Charles Agada, SOT TV News.
Meanwhile, following skyrocketing increase in house rents in Ebonyi State by house owners, some residents of Abakaliki Metropolis have bared their minds on the issue. EBBC crew went round the city to capture reactions from tenants regarding the high cost of house rents in the state.
increment on house rent by both commercial and residential house owners has become unbearable for residents of the state and is not something to write home about, considering the present economic realities in the country. Upon inquiry, it was observed that some landlords rent out 3-bedroom flats at 1,500,000 naira, 2-bedroom flat 900,000 naira, while 1-bedroom flat goes for 750,000 naira. It is on this backdrop that a resident at Okwasi Street appealed to commercial and residential house owners to have a rethink and bring down their house rent to be affordable to average Ebonyi people. He also appealed to government to institute a committee that would interface with house owners in a bid to reducing house rent.
The cost of rent in Abakaliki capital city is so exorbitant that it is getting far beyond the ordinary Nigerian. It's getting far beyond a peasant farmer. It's getting far beyond the reach of an average Nigerian. At least a 2-bedroom flat goes for 400 times 500,000 naira. If you want to live in a 4 or 3-bedroom apartment with spacious conveniences, it goes around between 800 and 1 million naira. And looking at it, he discovered that an average Nigerian, especially civil servant, cannot afford such accommodation.
Another resident at Nkalike attributed increment on house rent to high cost of building materials, which was as a result of the economic downturn in the country.
The thing is that you will not blame the landlords. For me, it's not their fault. The cost of things, the cost of materials in the market is on the high side. Why? Because our money today has no value. For instance, now, a bag of cement before was at least 2,000 plus, 3,000 on the high side. But today, a bag of cement is 10,000 plus. You will not blame the landlord. You understand? They try at least to meet up according to how much they spend to do all those things. Before, Poline, let's start from Poline, 2x2. It was at least that time was about 150, highest 180. But now, 2x2 is 800 naira. Check out the increase.
Further effort to interview more tenants on the house rent issue proved abortive as the furious tenants refused to speak to EBBC crew because of their experience in the hands of the landlords. For South TV News, I am Chidiebere Nwori.
A cross-section of Ebonians has stressed the importance of community policing to checkmate incidents in security situations across the country. Salt TV reporter Charles Ole went around the state capital Abakaliki to seek the opinions of security chiefs and community leaders on the need for the establishment of community policing.
Bearing their minds, the Commandant of Nigeria's Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ebonyi State Command, Mr. Chika Nnamdi, and the Police Public Relations Officer of Ebonyi State Police Command, Abakaliki, SP Joshua Ukando, maintained that model community policing will help to reduce crime. According to them, enhanced synergy and collaboration between the nation's sister security agencies and the community is the best way to go, describing the incident of the Sunday morning attacks on the citizens of Amago and Kaleha community in Isheri local government area as disheartening, adding that the truth would be unveiled after thorough police investigation.
The governor is giving us some moral support to make sure we leave this at the board. We cannot be everywhere at the time. Traditional institutions should be part of this security architect. The PGs of every town should be part of it. The youth organizations, youth bodies of every town should be part of it. So that when you have visitors coming over to your place, you can identify them in time and give us appropriate intelligent report to leave it at the board. Our motto is defending the defenseless. Our operations are cut across every nook and crannies of the state. And most of the personnel who are at these localities are indigenous.
But of course, we are not going to assume that everybody knows that this is what we are in now. Stakeholders in Ebonyi State, residents of Ebonyi State, the season or the period we are in is a period where everybody has to work for the security of the place you're living.
The traditional ruler of Nkaleke Eshara Unuhu Autonomous Community, who is also the President General of Izi Clan, Eze Sunday Oketa, member of Ebonyi State House of Assembly representing Abakaliki North State Constituency, Mr. Shedi Mwoke, and State Chairman, National Youth Council of Nigeria, Ebonyi State Chapter, Comrade Douglas Oshishi, while consoling families of the victims of the Sunday morning attacks on Amago Nkaleha community in Isheri local government area, disclosed that the community policing, if put in place in collaboration with other security agents, would go a long way in reducing such heinous attacks.
If government can accept community police and know a way to assist them through the highnesses in the different communities, we will also bring our own vigilantes attached to them for them to take care of the rural areas, both border and villages and communities.
It is important that every community, especially the bordering communities, should have alliance and agreement and partnership and community security and community policing, so that the both groups will form what is called formidable force.
The community policing is a welcome development as far as the Ebonyi State is concerned, because it will enable the citizens to get more free, because it is a grassroots-oriented kind of security outfit. And today we find out a lot of insecurity in the state. That because some citizens are not free to express themselves to uniformed security personnel. So, and I believe that the emergence of this community policing is going to help us.
According to them, to curtail reoccurrence of such attacks across communities, all hands must be on deck in providing useful information to security agents by the community leaders. Charles Ole Jr. for SOG TV News.
We take a when we return, the news continues. Please stay with us. Welcome back. In her avowed determination to industrialize the state in line with the People's Charter of Needs for socio-economic growth, the administration of Governor Francis Nwifuru has embarked on revamping of the moribund Ebonyi pulverization plant to promote agricultural production, create jobs and revenue for the state. The reports.
Highlighting the efforts of the state governor so far at the plant, the general manager, Ebonyi State Pulverization Plant, Dr. Emmanuel Ezenkwa, said the plant has been moribund for years until the intervention of Governor Francis Nwifuru. Dr. Ezenkwa explained that the pulverization plant has different sections that welcome the waste materials shifted to the conveying belt, where the materials are sorted into sections before biodegradable materials are converted into organic manure to boost agricultural production.
I want to thank His Excellency, the Governor of Ebonyi State, for making it a possibility that this very recycling plant should take off at his own administration. It is my, heartfelt thanks to him, because he has invested so much to see that this place picks up into operation.
Before being converted to raw materials for use in manufacturing industries for the production of items such as water cans and polyethylene bags for domestic and industrial purposes. The plant is surrounded by heaps of waste from the capital city, waiting to be sorted into biodegradable and non-biodegradable materials.
for his passion in area of industrialization of this state. I'm giving it as a promise that I am committed to seeing that this place becomes operational, becomes commercially viable, and is able to give employment to Ebonians and generate revenue to the government.
And power issues, among others. I am Idam Elir.
And on a sad note, the lifeless body of Justice Azuka, the member representing Onitsha North constituency in Anambra State House of Assembly, has been found by security operatives near the Second Niger Bridge. Azuka was reportedly kidnapped on December 24th along Uguna-Bankba Road in inland town Onitsha while returning home for Christmas.
Justice Azuka was reportedly abducted by his assailants at gunpoint in a swift operation that lasted less than 5 minutes. According to the spokesperson for the Anambra State Police Command, Tochukwu Ikenga, who confirmed the discovery, a joint security team found the decomposing corpse of the lawmaker during a routine patrol. The slain lawmaker was a chieftain of the Labour Party who reclaimed his mandate following a court ruling that nullified the victory of Douglas Ebuna of the People's Democratic Party, who was initially declared the winner of the 2023 election. The police spokesperson further stated that a joint security team has taken over the scene and that operation is ongoing for possible arrest of the suspects involved in the gruesome murder of the lawmaker.
The House of Representatives Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution has proposed a creation of 31 additional states in the country. Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, who presided over the plenary on Thursday, read a letter from the committee containing the proposed states. The reports.
According to the House Committee, the legislative proposals for the creation of additional states and local government councils in the country shows that North Central Zone will have additional 6 states, while Northeast will go with 4 and Northwest 5 states. Southeast Geopolitical Zone will get 5 additional states and 4 states to South-South, while Southwest will have 7 states according to the legislative proposal. If approved, this will increase the number of states in Nigeria to 67. An act of the National Assembly for the purpose of creating new states can only be passed if it secures the support of at least the 3rd majority of members of the National Assembly.
The United Nations has warned that 2 southern Sudan states were on the brink of catastrophe after a recent eruption of violence which reportedly killed at least 8 people in one city. Renewed fighting broke out last week in the state of South Kordofan and Blue Nile between the army and the faction of the Sudan's People's Liberation Movement led by Abdel Aziz Aliyu. The report.
The nation's resident and humanitarian coordinator in Sudan, Clementine Nkwega Salami, said the fighting had reportedly claimed at least 80 lives in the southern state capital, Kadugi, alone. She condemned the reported use of women and children as shields in Kadugi, the obstruction of humanitarian aid, and the detention of civilians, including children. Sudan's army and its main rival, the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, have been at war for control of the country since April 2023, creating a widespread humanitarian crisis. The army of the Sudan Parliamentary Forces have accused each other of launching attacks and targeting civilians in an attempt to capture territory. The consequences of food insecurity are already being felt in parts of the South Kordofan, where families are surviving on dangerously limited food supplies and malnutrition rates are rising sharply.
And that's the news, but before we sign off, a quick look of some of the stories that made headline. Wife of the state governor, Mrs. Uzamaka Nwifuru, has acknowledged significant drop in prevalent rate of female genital mutilation by 54% in Ebonyi State. She stated this during a road walk to mark this year's International Day of Zero Tolerance. And the lifeless body of the member representing Onitsha North constituency in Anambra State House of Assembly, Justice Azoka, has been found by security operatives near the Second Niger Bridge. The late lawmaker was kidnapped on December 2024. The United Nations has warned that 2 South Sudan states were on the brink of catastrophe after a recent eruption of violence, which reportedly killed at least 8 people in one city. Many thanks for watching. I am Laura Amanze. Enjoy your day.